Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Michael Burns with One Mic Out, and I got a couple wieners up here with me right now. Uh, man, there's nothing that makes a day better than just having a couple wieners in your lap. Um, I told you I wasn't going to get political anymore with any of my stuff, just because all it does is promote divisiveness, and uh, it just it causes people to get riled up for no reason, and then at the end of the day, there's nothing that you or I can do about it anyway, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, except prove to the other that one can bitch louder than the other, but while effectively at the same time accomplishing nothing. Um, you're not a politician, and unless your ambition is seriously taking you into politics, um, there's no point in really bitching about it. Um, because we've everything's been proven already. I think we can all agree, whether you want to admit it openly or not, that um, power breeds corruption, and no matter what you're in, there's always some sort of corrupt activity, either at the lightest level or at the heaviest level. And wherever there's any sort of power, I mean, hell, you see it in the workplace with you know certain people taking advantage of their position to take extra days off, or somehow finagle their way to get a new get a promotion, or while not really being deserving of it. I mean, all the way up to the top to where people stealing elections and stuff like that. I mean, you see it in all walks of life, and to think that the United States government doesn't have corrupt elements to it and corrupt politicians um, in its government, you're a fool if you believe that. But I mean, with what's going on in the news today, I'll put it this way: with what's happening with, um, I'll just put it this way: I don't think it's cool. So the whole fight against racism and everything is equality. Everything's always been about equality, and equality doesn't mean you get the same privileges. Or correction, I'll take that back. It doesn't mean that you get elevated to the same playing field. It just means that you have the same opportunity. If you remember that GIF or that meme that where it showed like the difference between equality, or what equality really should mean, versus equity, um, is it shows like people standing at a fence, and it shows some people taller than others, some people shorter than others, and one panel of the meme shows this is not equality, and it showed everyone being able to look over the fence, regardless of how short or tall you were. Everyone was looking over the fence, so some people were given more. So the tall person didn't need any handouts, he didn't need any help, because he was able to look over the fence, while the short person um, was given a tall box to stand on to look over the fence. Um, where the next panel over shows, equality as being everyone gets the same, you know, 3 foot tall stool, and then you'll do with it with what you will. But that's equality. So you might not be able to look over the fence, but you were given the same opportunity and chance, and even though life afforded you, to be short in stature, to not be able to look over it, it still at least set you up for on to a path of success. That equality of, here's your stool, now go do something with it. It's up to you, because equality, by the way the left sees it, would be, by that reckoning, by the way in which they view it, would mean, well, I should be able to play for the NBA just because I want to be a basketball player, and I want to play in the NBA, and I want to be a millionaire. Well, no, they're going to judge me on my merit and my skills, my ability. But is that their equality? No, that's not what they deem equality, because they want handouts, everyone, and they want certain groups to be lifted up and elevated, um, to the same stature as other groups of people. And I'm not even talking about race, but I'm talking about economically. I'm talking about socially. I'm talking about everything. And so Equality is giving you, you've been afforded the same opportunity. It's not, no, okay, they passed the test, so we're just going to automatically let you say that you passed the test. And what's so sad today is, and especially with women, with the whole movement of all of a sudden this women's rights thing, all of a sudden again is, I don't know why we're revisiting things almost like movies in Hollywood where storylines are revisited and things are rebooted and all that because there's no originality anymore. It's the same thing with racism, with women's rights, with everything like that, pay gaps, stuff like that. Um, it's to sit here and say that a women's soccer team deserves what the men make is stupid. No, bring in the same money and then we'll talk. But anyway, I'm getting lost down a rabbit hole. What I really wanted to discuss was, here you have politicians, and today, they were voted off certain councils and whatnot within, and now they're claiming, and you probably know who the individuals are, and they're claiming racism. They're going after women of color, and it's like, here you fight to not see color in terms of, yes, we overtly can see color with our eyes. We can overtly tell if someone is a different ethnicity or looks different than us. That's being able to profile someone. That's part of human nature. I can tell that you're not me. So let's find out who you are. And so to fight, to where it's like, we want to be treated the same. We want to be treated just like the white people. We want all the same opportunities as the white people. And then they get it. Like, okay, whoever's asking for it, like, okay, that racism to that degree hasn't been a thing for a good minute. To where, and again, my definition of racism personally, and you can do that now, it's 2023. I can make up my own definition, is different than probably a lot of other people's. To me, racism is, no kidding, the hate in its purest form, meaning I don't want you living anymore because you are subhuman. You're beneath me. That's how I view racism, like Hitler level racism. That's how I view what racism truly is. It's you're literally, you don't want those people. You want them exterminated. You want them off the planet. This bullshit of every time you don't get your way, and if you're a person of color, and then all of a sudden the racism flag is thrown, all you're doing is setting yourself back. And these politicians are setting themselves back because they're going, oh, I didn't get my way. Okay, I'm just going to go back to that, the thing that I've been trying to escape, the thing that I've been trying to escape, which is people judging me by the color of my skin. Now people are, not because they don't like you, but they're pissed at you because that's your fallback and your go-to every single time, because you're trying to now make someone else look bad for just doing their job. Hey, you said a bunch of anti-Semitic shit. You're supposed to be representing the United States of America, and you have said these nasty, horrible things. So we don't want you on this committee anymore because it doesn't reflect the values of this committee. And for someone to go, oh, well, you just fired me because I'm of color, and you see it in sports too. And you see it, where, coaches of color and whatnot are get fired. And everyone's like, oh, they fired him just because of their colors. And it's like, well, no, they fired him off of their performance. Like, they had a shitty season or a shitty couple seasons. They weren't doing good. People forget the fact that the term minority and majority are in reference to numbers. There's a majority. There's a greater number of said type of people than there are of other type of people. And so just, going back to stats 101, if you look at it, you're probably going to have, if there is a majority of people, you're probably going to have in that majority a lot of your better and best people in the workplace are probably going to come. The majority are going to come out of the majority. Yes, and some will come out of the minority, but that's just numbers. It's pure numbers. If I take all my military buddies, right, and I'm like, all right, cool. Hey, we're going to go play paintball, and we're going to go up against this whatever team comprised of people who'd never served, never held a weapon or anything like that, and they get annihilated. And let's just say those, you're not going to go, oh, well, the reason you lost was because of, we didn't like you because of whatever reason. No, it's because they sucked at what they did, what they were doing. And the people who were trained, who had been around, who had been involved in it for years, did better. That's it's the majority. You know, it's not because, you know, of anything else. I don't know. It's stupid to me. It's based off the merit. It's based off your character. It's not based off of what you look like. I think, excuse me, in 2023, we really don't give a shit. I honestly think there's more hate towards people who are like meth heads and drug dealers and crack addicts. I think if you saw one of them, regardless of the color of skin, passed out on the side of the road, you're not going to stop. You're going to go, whatever. And you're going to treat it, whether they're white, black, Hispanic, you know, Asian, no matter what, I think you'd treat them the same. You'd be like, gross. Ew. I don't want to deal with that. It hasn't, I don't think it has anything to do. I have treated everyone equally as like shit. All, you know, of any ethnicity, you know, or anything. White people and black people, like I've if you're a shitbag, you're a shitbag, you know, and I'm not going to mince words or walk back comments or tread lightly on someone who's a shitbag just if they're a person who's not the same color as me. I'm going to treat you exactly how I would as a shitbag who is the same color as me. Because why? I'm not looking at you in that regard. I'm not looking at you as a black man or as a Hispanic or as an Asian or as a white man. I'm looking at you as a fucking human being, as a person. And if you're a piece of shit, you're a shitty human being, you know, then I'm going to let you know that you're a shitty human being. If you're an awesome human being, I'm going to do the same thing, you know. But to throw a race flag every single time that your way isn't gotten, just sets you back. It's almost counterproductive. Come on, Zeus. It's almost counterproductive because now it brings back to the forefront, like, oh, this whole thing again. I respected you all the way up to that point because now you're desperate. You're showing desperation. You're just trying to get a cheap pop, like they call it in wrestling, you know, where, you know, when they come out and they say the name of the city, you know, that they're in and everyone cheers, yay, they get that cheap pop. That's really what that is. It's not because you're good at what you do. You're just, you know, and now, you know, you lose that respect, you know. How about you look at how shitty of a congressman or a senator or, you know, you were, and you know, and maybe go fucking ponder about why they kicked you off. Why don't they want me? I just get tired of using the, you know, throwing the race card. Well, it's because of this, you know. Well, great, work around it. We all have our own struggles. We all have our own demons. We all have our own issues, you know. And at the end of the day, it's always, everyone always wants to have it the harder, you know. Like I grew up LDS. I grew up Mormon, you know. Am I going to sit here and talk about all the times that, you know, teachers gave you different grades or people treated you differently just because you weren't the same religion? Once they found out, no, it was just something you had to work around. Okay, God intended for me to have another added obstacle in my way for me to grow stronger from learning how to negotiate and get around. And that's, you got to look at it, I guess, as an opportunity. Just an opportunity to be able to just be, you know, a better human being and set you up for greater success down the road. These guys, our winners, like to lick each other. But I'm just saying, you know, if it were me, I wouldn't do that because it's just going to hurt you. But they're going for the cheap pop, and I get it. And you know, hell, they're going for the uneducated votes, you know, because with the uneducated, and they vote in the uneducated, and then we end up in idiocracy. And that's exactly kind of what they want. You puppies. Anyway, I said I wasn't getting into politics, and I'm not. I'm just pointing that out that I saw in the news today. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, God, he has, you know, different reasonings for all of us, you know, and I think the more people embrace that and the more people kind of realize, like, hey, you know, like we're not all set on the same path. We're all given equally the right to be here on this planet. We're all here now, you know, but we weren't born into the same families and we weren't born into the same situation. Some people were born into money. Some people were born with natural gift, you know, natural talent and things like that. No, we were all given the same opportunity by being born and here. And then it's what we do at this time because it's, you know, we have different paths that we're meant to follow. we don't all have the same path to follow. We have the same destination, but we don't have the same path. We're all in different spots, so it's we're all going to experience different things to get there. Just like as if I said, "Hey, meet me in San Francisco, California, wherever you're at in the world." You would have a journey and stories to tell the moment about that trip once you got there. Oh man, but we all went to the same spot, but we all chose different paths. We all chose different ways, and we all experienced different things along the journey to get there and to make us different and better, or whatever. We'll come out a different person at the end on that journey. So it's the same thing with life. The journey's the same. It's just we're all in different places, and we're taking the path that God helped forge for us, and utilizing the tools that was given, and we'll see what we do with those. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to make it. It doesn't mean that just because you got something that I should get the same thing that you got. No, God, life is tailored to you. It is tailored to you. It is unique to you. I don't have the same path or opportunities as you, but I do know that I have the same promises made and the same destination at the end that's striving to get to. So don't be an idiot. Don't throw the race flag. I mean, I think that's the chicken shit way to go. If you view life that way, then you're just looking for a handout, and you're looking for someone to give you something for free just because, generations ago, ancestors had a shit deal, and you're still trying to ride their coattails on that. I think it's horseshit. I think we're beyond it. Because by that reckoning, then you can go back to the beginning of time and at any given moment, somebody's ancestor somewhere had a real shit time, and you know what? Look what we're doing right now. You're on a fucking phone, either listening to this, or a computer, and you're not in a jail cell. You're not somewhere where your freedoms are taken away from you right now. You're literally able to watch this. And so, to continue to bitch about the past that way, I think we've learned from it. At last I heard we're not trying to bring slavery back. So I think we learned from the history, from the past, that's not coming back, at least anytime soon. So there's just, like I said, there was an extermination order against the Mormons up until 1978 because they forgot about it in Missouri, where you could kill a Mormon on sight, and that's why they fled and went out west to Salt Lake. Then the government came in and threatened to exterminate them all and kill them if they didn't change certain beliefs. And so, but guess what? I'm not crying for reparations for what the government did to my people back in those days in the 1800s. Why? Because it's not affecting me today. If anything, I can learn from stories from certain members of the LDS Church that, you can learn about their fortitude and the strength and the resiliency that they had, and the ability to still make things work even while facing all those trials and tribulations. And the same thing if you're African American and you should be proud of what your people went through and what they endured, and here you are today, and because of them and their strength, and I think those are the stories and those are the focuses that everyone should be on. But it's so easy to try and milk something and to try and get something out of it. Oh, but this did happen to me or my people, and so they deserve something, and since they're not here anymore, I deserve something. Well, that by that same reckoning, then if a football player that was killed in the 70s who was beginning his NFL career and was making the hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe their signing were tens of thousands or whatever, does that mean that, or they were getting ready to, they were drafted but they never made it for whatever reason, a health condition, and they were never able to see even one down on a professional football team or something? Does that mean that draft pick now goes to me? Do I get drafted now later, generations later? Do I get to call the NFL up and go, well, hey, it was kind of taken away from him in a shitty situation, in a shitty circumstance. So, since, that damage needs to be repaired, so I need to be drafted, and I need to have the same opportunity that he had and go play in the NFL. That's not how that shit works. So I just say stop using it. It discredits you immediately the moment if you use that card. And it's not even for race, for anything. In my opinion, excuses are shit. Just adapt and overcome. That's what they say. Adapt and overcome. Anyway, this is my rant for today with the pups in my lap. Let me know what you think. I just say, everyone, we're all people. We all have 10 fingers and 10 toes, hopefully. 2 eyes, a brain, a mouth, and a vocal cords in which to spew our bullshit, our meaningless nonsense that we spew out. We can't change the government, can't change politics, can't change all that kind of stuff. What's going to happen is going to happen, because no one's going to stand up and actually do what is required to make a change if they truly cared about making a change. I just think people care more about this, bitching and moaning and putting it out on the internet, so that way someone can hear you bitch and moan, and maybe you get that one person that says something, and you feel better about yourself for the day. I don't know, but there's so much more to life. Putting down that social media, kind of breaking contact from things, and getting yourself, I'm telling you, I'm going to end up somewhere away from people, living, where I can go outside with a cup of coffee and look for miles and not see anybody. That's coming. Because what's the problem? People are the problem. And I'm not talking like killing the planet, people and stuff like that. I'm just talking people in general. They are the problem. All of your problems in life were generated by humans, whether it was you or someone else. That's what your people create problems. Animals don't create problems. Insects don't create problems. We create problems by putting ourselves in certain situations that they become now a factor into the problem and the situation you put yourself into, but they do not create problems. Humans are the only species on this fucking planet that create problems. Anyway, let me know what you think. Throw up a comment, all that kind of stuff. Follow, subscribe, all the all that jizz jazz that they all say. I said jizz on the mic, whatever. jizzjazz.com. Maybe we should make that a thing. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'll hit you up later, but I guess these dogs are ready to get down. This is Michael Burns with One Mic Out, and we'll see you with the next one.